Hello everybody, welcome to Severe Weather Update. It is March 31st, 2023, and there is an expected severe weather outbreak today in the mid-Mississippi Valley, right in the middle of the heartland of the United States, and I wanted to make sure I made a video because there is a moderate threat today, 4 out of 5 on the severe weather scale for a very large region of the country. Let's get started right away looking at the day one categorical outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. You can see shaded in red is that moderate threat. It covers a 10 million person population, including Memphis, Tennessee, St. Louis, Missouri, Des Moines, Iowa, Little Rock, Arkansas, and Cedar Rapids, Iowa, as well as some other fairly large population centers. And I want to read you what the Storm Prediction Center says about this. This is pretty concerning language. It says a severe weather outbreak appears increasingly likely centered on this afternoon and evening across a large portion of the Mississippi Valley. At least a few long-track, strong to potentially violent tornadoes are probable, not possible, but probable, particularly over portions of the mid-Mississippi Valley to the mid-south. Swaths of intense, damaging wind gusts along with very large hail are expected as well. That's a pretty concerning outlook, and the large scale area of the moderate threat is somewhat unusual. So I think this Storm Prediction Center really believes there could be a large scale severe weather outbreak today in this region. The tornado parameter shows about a 15% likelihood of a EF2 or stronger tornado touching down within any 25-mile region of the red shaded area. Well, that's a very large red shaded area, way more than 25 miles. So I think that's why they're saying it's probable there's going to be at least a few strong tornadoes somewhere in this region. Obviously, it would be nice if we could narrow it down even closer, but today the threat is very over a large portion of the country. So if you're in this area, you just need to be weather aware, have a plan in place, know a weather radio alert, or watch internet sources like Ryan Hall, y'all. Watch your local radio, or watch your local TV, or listen to your local radio, and be ready with a plan of action to get to an interior room of your home, out of a mobile home, or to a basement or storm cellar if a tornado warning is issued for your area. And I think this can be a lesson learned from the Rolling Fork tornado last week. I didn't even do a video for it because I didn't expect it to be that severe, but anytime there's a moderate risk, you have to be ready for that. And it happened. And I had the tornado emergencies. I did post them on my website, but I felt bad I didn't do a video. And there were a significant amount of deaths in the Rolling Fork area because people living in mobile homes or did not get these alerts and were not able to protect themselves from such a damaging tornado. Anyway, let's look closer at the severe weather outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. You can see the cities that I previously mentioned are listed here. Some other cities, Peoria, Springfield, Jackson, Tennessee, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, but also the major cities, St. Louis being the largest population area, Little Rock, Memphis, and Des Moines being within this moderate 4 out of 5 risk. And then there's a much larger area in the 3 out of 5 risk, which also may, in fact, experience severe weather as well as a possible strong tornado. Let's look at the timing, though. I think that's what everyone wants to know is when do I really need to be on the highest alert? Obviously, I think you need to be on a high alert anywhere in this area, starting from noon today all the way through midnight. But let's try to focus and see when the storms will come to your local area. So if you know where you're at on a map, this will help you. We're going to start out with the national view. This is the HRRR model, very accurate. But again, this is just a forecast, so give or take a few hours of error on this. But look and see where do you live on this map, and then you can see kind of when the most damaging storms will approach you. So we're going to start out at 17Z, which is noon. That is correct. So we will move forward. You can see by noon today, there's storms already forming in northern Arkansas. Noon, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., we're really starting to see things fire up in the Illinois area, as well as in the northern Tennessee parts of West Virginia and northeastern parts of Arkansas. So again, we're at 20Z. Let's make sure I have the right time. That's 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. You can start to see a line of storms coming through the northern parts of Illinois, parts of Wisconsin, and even parts of Minnesota. And then we will continue this all the way through as the severe weather threat diminishes as we pass midnight. Let's look at the same model, the HRRR model, using the College of DuPage website, along with Pivotal Weather, which I just looked at, another great website to find forecast models. And for severe weather, I really like the HRRR model. We're starting at the same time, 17Z, which is noon today, and we're going to take this 1 hour at a time. Again, you can see a close-up of the storms already forming in Arkansas. So we go from noon, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. We're starting to see some storms coming into the northern Mississippi area again. 9, 10, 11, midnight. I think that's about when things will start to slow down. There still will be some storms in the northern Mississippi, northern Alabama area, but most of the storms will have exited the moderate threat by midnight tonight. Let's look at the northern sector here, and we'll do the same thing. We're starting out at, let's move back. We'll start at noon. Let's see if I can do this one. I'll use this. So again, noon, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m. A lot of supercells forming by 3 p.m. in northern parts of Illinois. 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. A lot of severe weather at 6 p.m. in southern Minnesota, very eastern parts of Iowa. 7 p.m. it starts to turn into a more of a squall line or quasi-convective line. And now it really turns in. By this point, I think we're going to be dealing mostly in the northern areas of the severe weather threat, in the southern Wisconsin and in the Illinois area. We're going to be dealing with straight line winds, and then eventually in Chicago, Illinois. But that's not until 01Z, and 01Z is about 8 p.m. Once it becomes a quasi-linear convective line or squall line, it's more difficult for the storms to turn into super tornadoes because the storms are all connected to each other and they don't rotate individually like when they're separate from each other. That's why all of the storm chasers are looking at those isolated supercells, because those can spin independently of the line. I'm not saying you can't get tornadoes from a line like this, but they're never as strong as the ones that are separate from the squall line. And you'll hear that from all the meteorologists and all the storm chasers and the internet people like Brian Hall. They're always looking at those individual cells that have broken off from the line. So I think by 8 p.m. tonight, the tornado threat will reduce, and I think we're already out of the area that was designated for the 15% at this point. All right, well, hopefully this video helps you if you live in this area. Again, have a plan of action in place if you live in this area. If a tornado warning is issued for your region, keep in mind the timing as we've already discussed, but anywhere from noon to midnight tonight, if you live in this area, there is a threat for pretty bad weather. So stay safe, and I will talk soon. Again, keep an eye on your local weather authorities and then other internet live sources to get specific information. Thank you, and thanks for tuning in. Like this video if you can, and subscribe if you haven't. Appreciate it. Take care.